Alright, this is my 5th series of randomly generated mugs. Mug number 1. Our elements that we rolled are these vines, the cool-toned patchwork box, which just means I can pull anything out of this box that I want. This is not a good angle for my phone. That should be better. Anything from this box that I want, I can pull out of it. And then we also rolled pumpkins. So not these guys, but these guys. So I have an idea of what I want to do. I just need to figure out which one I want to do. And I think I'm gonna go with this. I was gonna either go with a brick wall with vines crawling up it and then pumpkins growing in front of it, or I was gonna do a stone wall. And I think I'm gonna do a stone wall. People died. People died at Stonewall. Nobody died. Anyway, the mug that I'm gonna be putting this on is a standard straight walled mug shape. This one in particular is what we're gonna go with. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this pattern and I'm going to size it to the mug that I'm using, which I can use this length of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut out how much I think I'm gonna need. I'm gonna try to have a relatively straight cut. Where did I cut? 10 out of 10, so smart. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut along these stones to make it look like the top of a stone wall and hope that I didn't screw up where I should have cut, because this is a pretty... I know what I can do to fix it if it doesn't line up the way I want it to. There we go. Okay, so we have our wall. Now the process is figuring out where this needs to be cut off. So we're gonna go up to the edge of the handle here and then fold it around and see where the edge should be. So we're gonna cut around this guy. I'll go up this way, and then I'll cut that off there. Okay. Any ink left over on the design will get burnt out in the kiln, so I don't need to worry about that doing anything to the design. All right, there we go. There is our stone wall. And we've got pumpkins already pre-cut out. Thank goodness for me for doing that. And then the vines, we are gonna have to add last, which I think I may also come in with more green underglaze on top of these after I add them, just to make sure that they really pop on top of that black, because I'm not cutting out the vines in that manner. So let's get started, we're just gonna put some pumpkins, kind of haphazardly for now. I need my tweezers. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, to get an idea of where this lays, I'm also gonna cut along the bottom because I keep not lining this up properly. I'll get a better idea of where I need to lay it if I just cut the bottom trim off altogether. It also doesn't get in my way later when I'm actually applying it, which is convenient. Okay, so that stone needs to go away. This little one right here hits the handle, and that's not gonna work. If it hits the handle like that, it's gonna lay funny, and I don't feel like dealing with it laying funny, so we'll just get rid of it and not deal with it. This is the first time I'm using this sheet, and I bought this ages ago with like plans that I wanted to use it for that just never came to fruition, so I'm excited to use it this time. Okay. Now the slow process of applying such thickly colored transfers. The thicker the layer of color and the more wide of a span that the color is taking up, the kind of more slowly I like to go with them, just to make sure that all things transfer properly and I don't get any weird color smearing, which can happen once, like if any water gets trapped underneath and there's like a little bubble of water, it can very easily screw up what you're doing. Also, I just realized that I'm not recording on my other phone, which I need to do for TikTok. Oops. My bad, TikTok. Welcome to the party. I got so focused on the idea that I was excited about that I completely forgot that TikTok was a thing that needed to be happening. Okay, and then we've got orange pumpkins too. I definitely want a combination of the different colors. But I don't want it to be too overwhelming against the wall. So this is where strategic planning comes in. Ooh, do I have a little yellow one? No, okay. A little yellow one will be paired, a little orange one will be paired with a big yellow one then. All right, and we're gonna go further this way. I'll pop one of these yellow guys here. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little orange one right there. We do the orange one, excuse me? We do the orange one first because we want the orange one to be the one in the front. And then we'll layer the yellow one on top of that in a second. We're gonna smooth this orange pumpkin into place. There we go. A little chunk of clay there. It'll be fine. Smooth this little guy into place. I made this particular tool out of Easy Mold silicone, like silicone putty for making molds. I think it's Easy Mold. That, or I call it Easy Mold because I get confused and it's really named something completely different. I can't remember though. Not off the top of my head. I will let you know the name of it on the screen in post. There you go. All right, let that sit for a minute and then, do I like that amount? No, I want one more. One more little orange guy near the end. let that sit and we'll go back to this one. Smooth this yellow one into a place. There we go. And the orange one. You can actually kind of see that bright patch right there. There's definitely some liquid still caught underneath. So I'm gonna smooth out everywhere else except for that spot, and then we'll come in on that spot now that it's dried down enough. If it's too wet, it can actually just smoosh and then you'll get like more of a patchy spot, and I don't want that. Okay, and so the last thing I want to do is we're gonna figure out where this goes. To put at least one little pumpkin on the top of the wall, and I think I want it over here. I want it right there. Just a little guy. Hopefully when I lay the wall portion down, I put it in exactly the right spot so this doesn't look weird. All right, next comes the wall. Line that up with the little pumpkin. What I like to do is I will tack down the first and the last section just to hold the whole thing in place, and then I go through and just sponge all of it into place. The nice thing about these more organic shapes is they're a little bit more forgiving when the transfer doesn't lay perfectly flat. And also when I have something blocking it from being transferred, any like weird little wrinkles like that, I can tuck on top of the thing that's gonna mask it from showing up anyway. It's fun to strategically use the layers so that all things transfer as smoothly as possible. And then I like to go in a second time just to really make sure all of these sections are saturated so that I get a nice smooth transfer. Won't have any patchiness, although in this one I don't think the patchiness would be bad necessarily. I think it actually could benefit, make it look a little bit more like grout and stonework. I don't think it would be a detriment, for sure. Okay. Let me come back in. Yeah, I think that looks cool, actually. That works out really well. Go. Awesome. Okay, and so for some of the vines, I want them to go behind the pumpkins, and then for some of the vines, I want them to go in front of the pumpkins. So we're gonna set this aside real quick and get our vines out. And do I have a bunch of them cut out, thank God. I didn't want to deal with that. Okay, so for the vines, we'll just put them wherever I feel like they'll fit nicely. I know okay, that was folded over. And like I said, I think I'll come back in with an underglaze, a green underglaze that I like, and kind of add more oomph to the green wherever it's on top of the black and stuff, because I feel like, I know you're gonna be able to see the black through the green, and I don't want that to happen. Because like you wouldn't be able to see the cracks in the wall through the leaves necessarily, and I would like them to be nice and saturated in color. And so I think an addition of a little bit more underglaze will lend nicely to that. This is gonna be super cute. I'm excited about this. Okay. And then we'll do some right here. All of these elements go so nicely together. I love it when that happens. Although, to be fair, there's been a lot of times at this point, this far into these series, that I feel like I've done a good job at integrating stuff that wouldn't go together well, fairly well. There's only been a few of them that I made that I'm like, ugh, heinous. But, like, those ones were some of people's favorites, so, you know, I'm fine with that. As long as people like them. Like, that's chill. Oh, and we're definitely gonna put vines up the handle. We'll definitely bring this design all the way around. I think that'll look really nice. In fact, while that sits for a second, I will cut out this. Oops. It's fine. There we go. Run this guy up the handle real quick. Whenever I can, I really like to include the handle as part of the design. Sometimes it's just not something that will work or look good, but when I can, it always makes me really happy to pull designs up the handles. I had a lot of people when I first started out, when I was doing like a lot of stripes and stuff, a lot of geometric patterns, that would really want me to integrate the handle in some way, but like, because my handles have a curve to them, trying to lay stripes up a handle and look good in them on their own, but also look good with the background, it's probably doable, but I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna do it well, so. All right, let's pull these pumpkins. Oh yes, very nice. Such a good saturated color. And these look so cute once they're fired. Look at the little guy at the top. It does look a little bit like it's just floating there, but that's fine. Okay, and again, I want to add some vines in front / on the pumpkins. I think I'm only gonna use like little itty bitty sections though, like these. Like down here, I think that'll look nice. Boop, boop. All right, and then we'll do right down here as well. My foot just fell very much asleep. Okay. Sometimes transferring on top of other transfers can be a little finicky, so let's see. No, it did it pretty well, good. specifically transferring stuff onto white can be really difficult. I don't know what it is about white underglaze, but sometimes I just don't want to do. I just smeared it a little bit down there, but it'll be fine. Like I said, I'll go back in with another underglaze. I really like the vines on top of the pumpkins. I think it integrates them all together really, really well. Right, this one. And then some over here. I have no idea what glaze I'll end up using for this one to finish it off, but that is a problem for future me. Current me doesn't care. Although I'll probably just use white and make it look like clouds, you know? Because why not? Oh, heck yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that so far. Okay, I'm gonna go grab my underglaze and we'll add some details to those green vines. I'll be back. Okay, I have some Amaco velvet underglaze. This one is the dark green. And I'll just go in on these leaves and just add a little bit of depth, a little bit of, I mean, not so much depth as in just really covering them up almost completely. Just really going over them to solidify those colors. Stick my hand in it. That's always good. I love having underglaze on my hands. I like how I was like, I'm gonna cover them up completely, and now I'm like, no, depth, detail. It really is better that way, though. We love depth. We're gonna definitely do a darker section there over the black. This one can be lighter. Cute. Guys, this is adorable. I really like this one. I don't know where to go with my hands though. I have really bad spatial awareness when I do hand painting, and I tend to accidentally stick my hand in stuff. So I need to make sure I work away from the areas I've already painted on. real focused and stop talking. Trying to, as an artist, trust like more organic designs and brush strokes. So often I find that I like it when other artists do like more organic, flowy things, but whenever I do it, I'm like, that looks like trash, Claire. I'm trying to trust my eye as an artist and my ability to make more minimal things, and those things can still look good. Because I love it when other people do it. So whenever I do it, I'm like, why does it look like garbage? And I think that's just because, like, I'm looking at my work with a far more critical eye than other people might. And sometimes that can be a detriment to my work, and I need to grow past that in order to make more and better and more interesting and new things for myself. Being an artist is hard. Being a perfectionist and an artist is hard. Although ceramics is a really humbling medium and very quickly teaches you that you're not gonna make perfect things. Perfect is not real anyway, but like, you're really not gonna make perfect things. As soon as you think you're about to, something goes terribly wrong. Alright, last little bit, and then we'll do the handle, and we'll stop clipping the phone holder. There we go. And then this guy here. I need to utilize my underglazes more in this new series. If I don't use them, they are going to dry out. And then I have to rehydrate them, and that's a pain in the butt. I mean, they've all started to dry out anyway, but... This is such an awkward angle. Bit. There we go. Okay, that's it. That is mug number 1 of series 5 of randomly generated mugs. I love it. I think it's so cute. Let me know what you guys think.